Let's do a quick recap for Tuesday, March 25, 2025. I had an event this evening, so I'm getting to this recap a little late. Here's the daily chart of the SPY, pretty much flat on the day, but they got above the 200 period moving average. And they happen to be in an interesting place right now, kind of eyeing the low of this little pivot here, or a big pivot. And when they got to it the first time, when they got back down to it the first time, they didn't really just run right through it. They spent some time bouncing around, so I have a hard time seeing them just pulling up from here without some type of reaction. They're at an important area. Got a little doji candle here. Volume's not that great, but we might see some action tomorrow. I'm not going to make any predictions just yet, but tomorrow morning I'll put my thoughts into the game plan and we'll have a better idea of how to go into the trading day. Speaking of the game plan, here are the levels and the game plan that was sent out this morning before the opening bell. You can read through this if you'd like. I just want to point out here about this level at 574.02. It was kind of my bear axis, or my, like, if price got below that level, the bears could be in control. And on the other side at 575.94, if the price got above that, then the bulls would be in control. That was the plan going into the day. But the sentence here, if price happens to open a good distance above or below that 574 area and comes into it later, it might be good for a base hit trade. Basically what I was saying is, wasn't sure what I was going to do if price was right down there at the open. When we look at the chart, you'll see that that's precisely what happened. Price opened above, they came down. It was a nice first trade of the day. And it looked like this. Price is up here. They're coming all the way down. By the time they got down to 574.02, it was 952. They hit it to the penny. You can adjust it if you want. Either way, that was a base hit of at least 4 points. Very easy. They went up to 575.94. And on this one, I will adjust it. So 575.89, 5 cent below price. What we're looking for is a 4-point base hit in the E-minis, as you know. That would be down here at 575.49 thereabouts. And while I'm at it, I'll put the fumble threshold up here, 576.29. That's 4 points away from the entry point. But what I want to point out is they got up to a high of 575.86, 3 pennies away, pulled away for what would have been a base hit. So unfortunately, that's a near miss. You would not want to trigger this trade when price got to it, because based on that little move there, kind of gave a hint that they could go higher. And while they did and barely got out of the money, this was longer term resistance and would have yielded a nice trade, but we're not going to count it for a base hit because we treat these as a process. So 2 trades, but 1 official base hit. Pretty obvious that the levels were important today. The tracking log looks like this, the playing by the rules log. 1 base hit at 574.02, near miss, so no trade at 575.94. Sam's trades, no trades taken. It was probably 12:30 or so for the first time I actually looked at the market. I never even started recording, didn't make any trades. Way too busy today. So I missed out, but it was what it was. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. By tomorrow morning, I should have a better idea of what they're going to do. I could say at this point at, 9:35 p.m., without really even going back and looking at what the post market is doing or the futures are doing right now, I'd venture to say that there's a chance that they would pull back from where they're at now, the SPY. So we could wake up to a gap lower, perhaps. Timing seems to be right. Before it was the hourly chart. If you looked at the game plan, I mentioned something about the hourly chart. Kind of gave a clue that they could pull back today. The bears could do something, but they did not do it. In fact, the first hour of the day would have negated that bearish signal. But the daily close today, where they're at, unless they gap above quite a bit and get above that area, I have a hard time believing they're going to get through it pretty easily. I think they're going to pull back before they go higher, if they go higher. But anyway, enough speculation. We'll find out tomorrow morning. As you know, new levels and a new game plan, and we'll do it all over again. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.